Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me. Some people may think that, and I know they're probably thinking this, that I'm coming down on the left. You know, I'm always talking about what the left is doing, left doing this, left doing that. But I only talk about, as a conservative, I only talk about what I see. If I see someone on the right or so-called right doing something that they shouldn't be doing, I will expose it. The mainstream news, oftentimes when they show people on the right, they usually give them the phrase extreme right or the right wing or extremist right wing groups. But these so-called extreme right wing groups, how extreme are they? If I say that I disagree with abortion because I believe it's murder, is that considered to be extreme? If I say I believe in the nuclear family, the husband and the wife, and I don't support alternative lifestyle marriages, is that extreme? If I say I believe in protecting the borders, that I support immigration, but as long as it's legal, is that extreme? It seems that people who, in my opinion, have a sensible worldview about certain ideologies are deemed extreme when it's not on the left. Now, when we talk about the extreme left, which is what I oftentimes get on, it's truly extreme. Do you know, would you consider someone walking in a church service with red robes on and protesting inside that sanctuary against abortion? You going inside the sanctuary while the people are worshiping and protesting abortion with red robes on. Obviously, you're saying something. That's extreme. Extreme is when you protest in front of a Supreme Court justice's home to try to persuade that individual to change their decision about Roe v. Wade. That's extreme, and not only is it extreme, but what I found out, it's illegal. That's extreme. And guess who does stuff like that? The radical extreme left. They're the ones that I see personally that are involved in true extreme actions. So let's be realistic here. Now, let's deal with another extreme action that the extreme radical left is doing. I just discovered that Joel Osteen, which is one of the mega preachers that come on, I think the Word Network. I think he still comes on the Word Network. I haven't been really watching a lot of these mega church pastors and stuff because I have my own reasons for that, and I'm not going to talk about that now. But apparently, while he was in service, I guess while he was up preaching, a woman and a woman or two got up in the middle of the service and stripped down to their underwear, protesting about abortion rights inside the service. Now, I saw the picture of it on the article, and we're going to read that in a minute. It's a very short article. But she got up in the middle of the service and stripped down to her underwear, protesting about the right to have an abortion inside the sanctuary. Now, you tell me that's not extreme. Only the extreme left does that type of stuff. I don't see anyone on the right doing these type of things other than saying, well, I disagree with your worldview. But that's considered to be extreme. Let's go on. Let's get into this article. It states, a shocking scene unfolded at Lakewood Church on Sunday in Houston, Texas, when Pastor Joel Osteen was interrupted by shouting abortion activists. Three people with the group called Texas Rise Up for Abortion Rights stood and began yelling as others around them watched in disbelief, KHOU reported. I don't know who that is. They stripped down to their underwear and the entire protest was caught on camera. And then it says, and if you read, and I'll leave a link to this article, www.breitbart.com, in the description box below, and you can check it out yourself. But they have a picture of this woman here in her underwear, in a bikini, I guess. Unbelievable. As attendees took their seats, a young woman stood up and tore off her dress, revealing a bra with green handprints on it, and said, "It's my body, my effing choice." Two others next to her also joined the protest, one yelling, quote, overturn Roe, hell no." However, the notion of overturning the Roe v. Wade Supreme Court decision would return the issue of abortion to the states has gained popularity, recent polling found. And I talked about that in the previous video. Why are all these extreme leftist people getting upset? They fail to see rage and anger makes you do crazy things. You don't think when you feel with rage and anger. Do they even know that all this is going to do is turn it over to the states, and it will keep it out of the hands of the federal government, which it shouldn't have been in it to begin with? That's all it's going to do. You'll still be able to kill your baby. So chill out. Let's go on. Breitbart News reported Monday, a Harris poll found voters are fairly evenly split on the issue of whether the Supreme Court should overturn the case that has allowed for millions of abortions since it was handed down in 1973. But it also found that the idea of overturning the decision has gained in popularity. While 49% of Americans support the overturn and 54% oppose, support has increased 3 points since November 2021, and opposition has decreased 3%. In that time, a draft opinion was leaked from the Supreme Court signaling the complete overturn of the decision. Now, let me say this before I read any further. If anybody say, well, that's just not true. If you make a comment, say that's just not true. Okay, maybe this polling is not true. But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to give me statistical finding that opposes the statistical finding that I just read here. You just can't say that's just not true and then leave it at that. You have to give information that contradicts or rebuttals this information that I'm giving. You just can't say that's just not true. Okay, let's read on. In Sunday's incident, the women were eventually escorted out of the room, according to the footage. One of the women was later seen standing outside in their underwear holding a microphone. She told people gathered nearby, also protesting, quote, "We're here today to break the silence and stand up because the Christians are not afraid to bother us at healthcare clinics, at doctors' offices, trying to get essential healthcare." So this is healthcare for them. Killing your baby is deemed healthcare now. Okay, so why the F wouldn't we bother you in your own homes where the laws are coming from? Only extremists would do stuff like this. This infuriates me, but that's what they want. That's what they want. Meanwhile, a plurality of American citizens considered abortion, quote, the same as murdering a child, end quote, according to a recent survey from The Economist/YouGov. Breitbart News reported on May 21st. It says, meanwhile, a plurality of American citizens consider abortion the same as murdering a child. So a vast majority of, that's the end of that article there. A vast majority of Americans, or a significant number of Americans, believe that abortion is murder. Now, I had one of my co-workers on my job told me several weeks ago, and he's a Democrat. He couldn't stand Trump. He wanted Trump out. Wanted Trump out. Woo, woo, woo. Wanted Biden in. Let's get Biden in. Now that Biden is in, he came to me recently and said, you know that Trump guy? He was all right. Guys always joking around. But in my heart, I knew, yeah, I know he was all right, because now you done written voted for this person that you guys, but whatever. But anyway, he told me the other week, several weeks ago, that he's totally against abortion. Now, most Democrats that I know, that I've known down through the years that voted Democrat had no problem with abortion. It's a woman's right over her body. She can choose to do what she want to do with her own body. Woo, 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 woo. And you know, and that's what I've experienced in the past. But this brother came to me and told me, he said, "You a serial killer." Because he's always joking around. He said, "You a serial killer. You killing all these kids and killing all these babies. You're nothing but another serial killer." That was his estimate. I'm not saying that he said it, but he was a Democrat. In other words, a moderate. See, here's the deal. When you see these kind of people going in churches and in businesses and going in front of people's homes, these are activist groups that are paid to do this. I know they're not doing it for free. They're paid to do this by groups like people like George Soros and others who finance these kind of movements to topple America's traditional institutions. That's what they're doing. And here's the thing. And I said this before, and it's crazy because it's utterly crazy because what I believe a lot of these activists, these far left activist groups are doing is they're going by the playbook of Saul Alinsky, who was a neo-Marxist and supporter of socialism and communism back in the 1960s. And I think he wrote a book in 1971 called Rule for Radicals. And in this book, basically what Saul Alinsky talks about is creating groups, leftist groups or activist groups that are designed to overthrow businesses, corporations, and the establishment and overthrow them by protesting against them. You disrupt. See, Saul Alinsky believed in disrupting the order. Saul Alinsky was an agent of chaos. And what I'm finding out with a lot of these activist groups is that they're going by, it seems to me, in my opinion, that they're going by the Saul Alinsky concept of disrupting the established order in order to rebuild it again into a socialist / eventual communist belief system and worldview. They come in and they disrupt. These activists clearly came in to disrupt the service. Let's disrupt everything. The Saul Alinsky concept. But to close this video on this is terrible. And I said this before, only the far left does things like this. If you are on the left and you're not doing things like this, then I'm not talking about you. I may not agree with everything that you agree with, just like you don't agree with everything that I agree with. But I'm not talking about, if you're not doing stuff like this, then I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the far left, the radicals. They're the ones doing this. I don't see anyone at my knowledge on the right or the so-called extreme right that are doing anything like this. Nowhere. If it is, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know. Show me a picture or whatever. And I'll analyze it and see. But I'm not going to believe it right off the bat because people can twist stuff. So let me know. This is on the extreme left. They're the ones, they're the arbitrators of violence. They're the ones that are extreme. They're the ones bombing buildings. They're the ones assaulting people. They're the ones shooting people. They're the ones killing people. They're the ones doing this. And they've been doing it since the 60s. What's going on here? What do you guys think about this? I think this is sick and disgusting. Obviously, being a minister in the church, I think this is sick and disgusting. Thank God no one has come in my little small church doing that. I stand at the door. I'm a minister, but when my pastor's up preaching, you know what I do? And me and them made an agreement on this. I stand up next to the door, fully armed. So let somebody come in there talking crazy. Let somebody come in and I'm ready for you. You're not going to come in my church with that nonsense. The devil is a lie. But anyway, I digress. What do you guys think about this incident right here? Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, share, and subscribe. And let me say this. I'm not teaching extreme views here. I'm talking about defending my church, okay? Defending someone from coming in the church and wanting to shoot up everyone. That's what I'm talking about. So don't get it twisted, okay? But if you like this video, press the like button, share this video, and subscribe. God bless you all, and see you again on another Black Conservative with Ryan Bowling.